Turn 7, and we find out the results of our battle in Nottia against Is. And we were absolutely destroyed by 3 Morgan Champion commanders and 6 Morvac Knights. We lost utterly. Let's look at the battle to see if there's anything of note. First off, we see that my configuration means I don't have any chaff, and I'm on the wrong side of his knights. Oh shit. That's why I lost. Going back to the messages, I have a couple of luck events that aren't of great significance, and I summoned a couple more formless spawn from the void. My research is coming along, but the big news is I lost that battle. What does this mean strategically? To be brief, I'm pulling back, we're going to war, I'm going to have to face a siege. This is where the diplomatic aspect of multiplayer comes in. I chatted to the person playing Is and made it clear that I would go to war over that province. Unfortunately, he decided that he too would go to war over that province, but neither of us was particularly upset about it. For both of us, it's a learning experience, and this is a war game. People are going to war all the time. There can only be one winner. If you get salty about the fact that you may or may not lose a battle or a war, or in fact the game, learn not to get upset at a setback or a loss. Treat it as a way to learn more, and then ultimately crush your enemies, drive them before you, and hear the lamentation of their partners. Having made the determination that we're going to war, with the terrible expansion I've had, nothing really happens until we're actually besieged. Turns 10 and 11, I made a crucial mistake. He had taken both of my provinces, but we were not yet under siege. I had my research majors ready to crush his army. They should have been still researching. If I had done that, things might have gone quite differently later. Turn 13, and we are finally under siege. The battle you can see in Relay is merely the invader defeating our province defense. If he couldn't do that, he shouldn't be besieging us. I did make a mistake. That Triton commander with his shark tribe should not have been patrolling. I killed some of his chaff, not much, otherwise nothing to see here. The proclamation is that I made a new prophet. If you remember in turn 7, he killed mine. I have a new one, hooray. I cast astral projection, which we'll talk about in a second, and you'll notice at the bottom the upkeep cost for the troops was 156 gold, and I couldn't pay it. Normally, you are not going to see this until the end of your game, when you don't have any other provinces. Not keeping some cash on hand was a mistake. If we look at the strategic map, I have no provinces because Is has taken them all. I have perfectly accurate scouting in this province, thanks to my casting of astral projection. I scry with 100% accuracy. I know exactly what he's got there. I don't really care. It will last another turn, so I'll see if anything retreats there after the main action in here, where you'll see that I am breaking siege with everything I've got. Because I'm under siege, I cannot recruit anything. All that matters is my battle plan. I won't have the benefit of the choke point in the fortress because I'm breaking out and trying to destroy his army there. I think his knights are probably scripted to swoop up the flank and attack me in the rear. So the significant thing is to look at how I'm positioning. I've got a lot of chaff in the rear in order to catch the cavalry. Apart from that, I have a communion summoning water elementals, unfortunately still lesser water elementals, And that's where my earlier screw up with the lack of research is really going to hurt me, not in this fight, but later on. At the very front, just here, I have the little meteorite guard that I've actually managed to recruit. Their goal is to kill their chaff. I'm hoping they'll do that in droves. Who knows? Apart from that, I'm mind blasting, and that's it. One other thing worth observing in the battle plan. Notice that all my priests also have astral, so I've scripted him to join the communion. I'm not entirely certain why I'm making him hold until he does, and I'm having him cast Power of the Spheres first, which increases all his magic parts, so entering the communion should fatigue him less. I'm hoping that once he joins the communion, he'll use the 2 extra levels in Holy that he'll get from it to cast Word of Power and smite the infidel. We'll see. One other thing of note is to look at the siege strength and why I determined to break siege rather than wait until he came to break the walls down. You can do that by pressing the F key to look at the fortification. We'll see here my fort's under siege, I knew that, thank you game, but also that the wall integrity is 363 of 500. In other words, he's very unlikely to do enough damage to the walls to crack them next turn. I think that also means he's less likely to expect a defense right now. Next time we'll find out if I'm right. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.